You do not want to rush reading these permits. I took my time and read through all 31 pages of this stack, because you don't want to get caught lacking. You don't want to be caught slipping, because ignorance is not an excuse when the authorities try to pinch you for something. What's up, guys? Zero Day Trucker here, back with another video. Today is a new move for me. It's a new experience. Some of you guys might recognize this place that have been here before. I'm in Iowa, picking up some sheet steel. This load is different from any other that I have picked up before because this is an oversized load, also known as overdimensional. And that's anything that's going to be a certain length longer than the front or the rear of your trailer, and anything that is wider than the sides. And I'll let you guys see what I've got here, what I'm working on, maybe. But just a simple sheet steel load, nothing fancy about it. Not tall, but it's very wide here. This trailer, end to end, left to right, is 8 feet 10 inches. This load of sheet steel is 10 feet 2 inches. So it requires overdimensional permits, among other things. And I have zero experience with overdimensional loads. I've never hauled one before. Quite frankly, I don't want to. But aside from that, this load is posing an issue for me, because I'm supposed to be getting service at the Brownsburg terminal tomorrow. Now, the problem with that is with overdimensional loads, you have to follow a specific route that's been approved for you, you know, for various reasons, you know, state and city ordinances, you know, making sure that you can fit down the roads that you're driving on. And, you know, among other things. Like I said, I don't know a ton about it, but just off the top of my head, those are some things I remember. And needless to say, you know, well, before I go there, this load is delivering in Alabama. So that Brownsburg terminal is not going to be part of the directions on that permit list, I'm positive. Also, I don't have any of the artillery, if you will, or the equipment for hauling over dimensional loads. Like, I don't have, you know, the light on top of my truck. I don't think you necessarily have to have that, but I don't have any flags. I don't have any banners that say oversized. I don't have anything. I've never hauled an OD load, like I said. Never had the interest in hauling an OD load, really. I'm a hazmat guy. I don't worry about that. Hazmat and, you know, other stuff, but I don't do heavy haul, not yet. And I have never done oversized. So we have a problem, and it is after hours right now. My fleet manager's gone home, so the night dispatch crew is in there. I talked to them already, let them know the situation, and they were able to email me the permits over, but that doesn't do me any good with the whole Brownsburg issue. So I'm pretty much just stuck here until the morning, where I need to get in contact with my regular fleet manager, my daytime guy that I deal with on a regular basis, and get this all sorted out. Now, what I'm thinking is going to happen, and what would make more sense to me, especially since I'm already here at this shipper, is just to have this load taken off of my dispatch list and dispatch me on something else that's going to run me through that Brownsburg area. Because Brownsburg, from where I am in Iowa, is pretty much just a straight trip east to get to Brownsburg. Now, I would still have to drive east to go to Brownsburg, and then I'm gonna have to drive down south to get to Alabama if I go with this load here. You know, plus all the alterations that it will require, you know, the permit changes that I'm assuming would need to be done for me to take this OD load on a different route, out of route, to go get the truck serviced tomorrow. And I only have like 980 miles left, I think, on my ticker. before it says like your load is or your truck is due for service. You know, I got scheduled for service today, you know, weeks ago. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. That's what I would prefer to happen. I just don't feel like taking an OD load on the road today. I don't have any of the equipment. I just don't feel quite comfortable with it. I know you say you don't grow if you don't step out of your comfort zone. You know, it's just I don't have the proper setup to take care of this, but we'll deal with it tomorrow. We'll see what all happens. But you guys know me, I like to be very prepared. I'm on top of the equipment I use, both the company equipment and my personal stuff. I always make sure that I have what I need. But I haven't decided whether or not I need to be securing this, just because I don't want to go through the trouble of securing this and then they end up like securing it tonight, and then them taking this dispatch off of me tomorrow because of the issues that I specified earlier. Then I would have to like take all my securement back off and put it back on my trailer. That's why I'm still parked over there in front of the empty trailer that I brought here. That way, you know, the yard dogs that are out here don't take my empty trailer and go put a load on it, and then I'm just stuck here without a trailer, you know, if I get dispatched on something else to pick up. I think it would be a better bet just to hang tight and not do anything until I know what the plan is going to be. This wouldn't be very difficult to secure. It's like 45,000 pounds roughly, so I'll just go through the the securement method that I would use if I end up taking this. So since it's sheet steel, you want to do the X chains, of course. I like to do my X chains coming underneath the load, over the top, and then cross on the other side. That way it's, you know, kind of like a brace, keeping this sheet steel from coming forward at all. And it already came with a couple chains on it, like a trailer swap, so you just switch like equipment, leave that same quantity on your empty. It's got 2 chains, 2 chain binders on it, and that was it. It's no tarp load. I would put a chain after my X straps here. I would continue to put a single chain every 4 feet down the length of this trailer. And with this load being roughly 45,000 pounds, I would need to have a minimum of 7 chains on this. You can always put more, but that's the minimum that you're required to do. And if I'm not mistaken, your X chains at the very front are not allowed to be counted in your weight distribution calculation for deciding the quantity of chains or straps to put on this load. I would end up needing to put a total of 9 straps on here. So my 2 X straps up front, and that's just for the forward movement protection, not calculated for the weight control. So 2 up here, and then I would need to put 7 down the length of the trailer. So 5 extras, because there's already 2 on here, so I need to put 5 more, 1 every 4 feet for this load to be considered secure. And it will be as simple as that. You don't have to do anything to the back. It would take a whole lot of momentum moving in the opposite direction for this load to come backwards on you and come off the trailer. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Sheet steel is very easy to deal with, and like I said, this is a preload and there's no edge protectors under here, so it looks like this particular load, like this sheet steel that they serve out of this place, does not have to have metal edge protectors underneath it, because this is super tight. They have that cranked to the max. There is absolutely no wiggle. You can't get anything under there. You could not get you couldn't squeeze a penny or anything thin under there. There's super tight, drum tight with those chains. So it would lead me to believe that this metal getting scratched is not a concern, and it's really strong, so it's not going to get bent. So it does not look like any of the rebar, or I'm sorry, any of the sheet steel loads that are here at this place have edge protectors on them, and they're all preloads here. So just so you know, in case you guys ever come here, it does not look like you're required to do that. And I usually still, well, I'll say this: when I'm using chains, you might not always have to use edge protectors, but if you decide to use straps on something like this, you 100% must use edge protectors, because this metal will cut your straps. As soon as you start driving fast enough for a vibration, it will cut right through it, because this is very abrasive. You know, it's like it feels like a Brillo pad, but it's just metal, so it's a lot harder, and it's a little bit more jagged. It will cut right through your straps, I guarantee it. Any metal making contact with straps must have edge protectors underneath it. Otherwise, you're gonna have a problem on your hands when that breaks and you're driving down the highway. I guess I'll be hanging out. It's still relatively early in the evening right now. Yeah, it's only 6:30. I'm gonna be hanging out. It's an early night ending for me. I'll get with you guys in the morning and we'll see what we're doing. Hopefully it's picking up a different load coming out of this same place. That'll save me some time in the morning. I have a 5-hour drive to Brownsburg from here, so that's really easy. And all these loads, super easy to deal with, just sheet steel. So it'll be the same process. If they dispatch me on something else coming out of here, I'll be out here pretty fast in the morning. Plus, with it being the morning, the load board will be full, and it shouldn't be very difficult at all for them to find me a different load that would be heading east for me to deliver. I guess at this point on Monday, which is when this load that they dispatched me on was supposed to be delivering. Whatever. Whatever. Can't sweat any stuff that I can't change myself right now, so I'm gonna go hang out and enjoy my early night. All right, guys, good morning. It's the next day. Got everything all sorted out. As you can see, I did end up hauling this load, or having to haul this load. Messaged my fleet manager this morning to see what's up and checking on the routing and everything. And I actually got night dispatch to send me a PDF of the permits last night so I could look at them. So they do have me, or my route that I'll need to get to Brownsburg, that is included in the permits. So they have me with permits going through Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and then Alabama, which is where this is delivering. That's all good. I gotta read through all those permits really well, and I'm gonna call the permits department as well to make sure that I am understanding everything clearly. It's about 9:30 a.m. right now. Load is super easy to secure. I think when I was talking about this earlier, I might have said straps when I was talking about securing this. I meant to say chains, but the placement and everything is the same. I just use chains on the entire load. X chains in the front and a chain every 4 feet all the way down to the end of the load. I knew absolutely nothing about, well, not absolutely nothing, but very little about placing the flags in the right spots on the trailer and what all I needed to have on here to make sure everything's legal when I leave. I just knew I didn't have any of the equipment with me. But one of the yard dogs that works here helped me out and showed me where everything goes. I think he might have been a TMC guy actually as well, just working here on the lot. And I'll show you guys, in case you ever encounter a situation like I did, and you're inexperienced with oversized, overdimensional load here. I'll show you how I set this stuff up and how I was shown to put this stuff on here so it'll all stick and what you need. So we'll start from the rear. You gotta have your flags, of course. There needs to be a flag on each corner, as far as like each corner of the rear of the trailer, and there needs to be a flag on the very front of the towing unit, which would be the tractor, of course. And I'll show you that when we work our way up that way. And they just went into this back pocket right here of the trailer, and we used bungees. See, this bungee, just wrapped the bungee around it, you know, a couple of times, and tethered it to these stake pockets here. Did the same thing on the opposite side over there, the driver's side. And he gave me the light for the rear, and when I have the truck lights turned on, that will be spinning and flashing. And this plugs in to this section right here on the trailer, in case anybody was ever wondering what that outlet is for back there. It's for this. And took a bungee, tied it up to shorten it on both sides, and then he slid it in half so that we could hold this light down with that. And I seen somebody in another video, when they had one of these lights, they took a 2-inch strap and tethered that over top of this and just winched it down. And I don't know, I might do that as well. I know a strap will be a lot more secure than a bungee in case this tears all the way through. I don't anticipate that happening though, but you all know that I'm a fan of over securement. I'd rather have more than I need. Let me wipe this lens. More than I need than not enough. And of course, you must have your oversized banner. So that needs to go across the rear. Take care to not cover up the license plate if you can avoid that. And you see, just took a bungee, tethered around this way, and just hooked up into a stay pocket. Did it the exact same way on the opposite side. And then you need to have a flag on all 4 corners of your load. So I got 4 flags. Put one in the rear corner, passenger rear corner, the front passenger corner, and the front driver's side corner. Tethered with bungees. So bungee through the ring right here, around this chain, tethered back through the hole, and then bungee here, pulling straight back to a stay pocket. It's pretty simple, and it always helps when you have somebody that's knowledgeable about it, showing you how to do it the way that they know works for sure. That way you're not guessing. And when you come up to the front corners, it's pretty much the same setup. Hook through the ring, circle around the chain, hook back to the ring. Front bungee, hooked through the ring, pulled straight forward to the stay pocket. And with the front flags, there's the first one. And if you've ever seen these holes, these rings that are on the side, if you're a TMC guy, your bumper right here, and there should be a hole, a loop with a hole at the very end of your bumper on the left and right side. That's for these flags. So I just took a socket wrench, backed out this screw enough so I could put the stick all the way through this, and then you just tighten it down just to make it snug so that this can't work its way back out. And then of course when we take all this down, we'll screw that all the way back in. It's like that on both sides with the flag. We have our oversized banner on the very front, and I need to lift this up some because it's covering up the front license plate. So I'll lift that up just enough and maybe tuck it a little bit behind the license plate before I actually get on the road with this. And it's the same thing, hooking it through a ring, wrapping the bungee around the rear of the stick, the flag, and then that same bungee just attaching to the bottom ring on the flag. All you got to do after that is just work it so that it's pulled evenly across your front bumper. And like I said, make sure that your license plate is not covered up before you leave. Make sure that that word oversized load easily visible to anybody that's looking at you on the road. And it's as simple as that to set all that up. Definitely not difficult. Now the part, hop back in here. The part that is very, 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 very important is your permits. This is like 31 pages of permits for this load. And that covers all the states that I'm going to be driving through with this. It's my BOL as well. And the designated route that I have to adhere to for each state that I'm passing through is in these permits as well. And it looked like I skimmed it last night. looking for the details. I'm gonna read it more in depth before I get on the road here, but it looked like my directions were given to me state by state on separate pages, so I'm gonna review that. Like I said, call the permits department and make sure that I understand everything accurately. Now, the thing that I don't like about this, that I noticed when I was looking through those permits, is that I cannot move through the state of Alabama at all on Sunday. And like I said, that's just off of my first reading of that, looking at that permit. So you can't go through, or my permit is not valid on the weekend or on legal holidays to drive through the state of Alabama on Sunday. So that means I'm only going to be able to drive as far as the state of Tennessee, like close to the end of it, on Sunday to try to park up, and then I'm gonna have to drive all the rest of the way through Alabama starting on Monday morning, which I'm not a fan of, because that's gonna put me behind a little bit, you know, at least that much, and have me burn up hours on my clock that I normally wouldn't if I didn't have an OD load with this restriction on it. You know, I park up the vast majority of the time, but it is what it is on that. I don't think that can be altered. I'll check with the permits department and make sure I'm understanding that portion correctly, and then I'm gonna have to be very, very, very specific with my trip planning, because I'm gonna have to stop at a rest area or a truck stop somewhere. I'm gonna have to make sure that I have a spot. Now this load, it's oversized, but it's not like huge, like crazy oversized. It's not like I'm hauling you know, something specialized like the guys that are hauling the John Deere equipment for TMC, or, you know, hauling something really, really huge like airplane wings, or like turbine blades that you'll see out there like on the cornfields or something like that. But baby steps, and 10 feet 2 inches as I specified earlier. So it hangs off on either end of the trailer, driver and passenger side. So that makes it over-dimensional just because it hangs over. So even if it's not super huge, we still have to abide by the rules, and do not wing it. Adhere to exactly what the routes on your permits say for each state. Do not try to skip it, because by my understanding, the fines for messing up on an OD load, you know, if you get pinged, can be pretty nasty, and I do not want to experience any of that. So I'm gonna do what I need to do to plan all of this out and make sure that I have it set up the right way, because the route that you get from your Trimble, for those of you that go off of the Trimble GPS or your personal GPS, like I have both, you know, so the GPS and the Trimble, you can't rely on that, because those aren't going to have your specific route that you need. You can't guarantee that for your over-dimensional load. Go by what's given to you. I mean, in all reality, you know, they're giving you the cheat code. Trimble's interrupting me. But in reality, I guess they're giving you the cheat code when they give you this. They're telling you the exact way to go. All you have to do is just follow what they said. So I'm just gonna write that down somewhere where I can easily reference it, you know, while I'm making my trip here, and properly plan where I can get fuel. Because I think I saw a stipulation on here that said, like, I can't veer off more than a half of a mile in order to stop for fuel on this load, which that shouldn't be difficult, because most truck stops are just right off of the highway anyway, and TMC, we only fuel at Pilot and Flying J, so I don't foresee that being difficult or a problem for me. I'll just trip plan that using a mixture of Trucker's Path just for the general route that I'm going, to see where in proximity the pilots are. And I'll be on the main highways for the majority of this. I know going to Brownsburg I will, and the rest of the way I'm pretty sure that's the same thing, because I'm gonna be heading out of here 280, I believe, and then hopping on 74 to go east, and then after that, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'll be hopping on 65, I think. I'll have to double check that, to go south from Brownsburg, and that'll take me all the way down to Alabama. I might have to get off on some state routes every now and then, but I'll find out about that. But I'm gonna go ahead and start reviewing this stuff, guys, and I will see you guys in a bit once we get further down the road. All right, guys, I just got done reading through all those permits in detail, and I just had a phone conversation with the permits department. Very enlightening. Learned a lot of new stuff that I didn't know before about OD loads. And like I always say, somebody said it to me a very long time ago, is that fear and understanding cannot inhabit the same place in your mind. So at first, when I got this load, I was like a little bit anxious, like, oh boy. I mean, even though it's like not a huge oversized, but I'm like, oh man, it's a lot of specifics, a lot of particulars with this paperwork. I got to make sure I don't screw up. Oh, in my head, because I'm overanalyzing it. But reading that paperwork, I'm like, all right, this isn't so bad. And like I said, they gave you the cheat code. You just follow the exact route that they give you for each state. And it is broken down from where I am in Iowa, going through Illinois, going into Indiana. And they gave me one specifically from where I am in Indiana, where I start to the terminal in Brownsburg, then from the terminal to get back on the highway, then into Kentucky, then Tennessee, and then Alabama. Each state and the two for the particular stop at Brownsburg and then leaving Brownsburg. Each one of those has its own sheet for me to give me the exact route that I need to take to get from each spot. So all I have to do is follow it, read it first, get familiar with it, and make sure, you know, I have easy access in case I need to skim it, look at it real quick or something, like on a piece of paper while I'm driving. But I'm gonna do the one going to Brownsburg, because that's super simple. And then over the weekend, while I'm waiting, getting service done and everything, I'm gonna jot down the notes on a piece of paper to make it easier to access, because obviously while you're driving, you don't want to be thumbing through a stack of 31 papers trying to figure out where you're going. Don't do that. But yeah, this will be pretty simple. The load itself is not too wide, so for a couple of those states like Tennessee and Alabama, I didn't even have a route really. I'm authorized to go on all the highways there, and I don't need to. I'm going to be on 65 basically, 65 south the entire time through both of those states. And I am allowed to get off the highway to get fuel, and permits department informed me that I can drive up to 1 mile away from my designated route to get fuel. And also some stipulations with OD loads. I can only drive as early as 30 minutes before sunrise and as late as 30 minutes after sunset. After that, you cannot be on the road with this OD load. You have to be parked somewhere until the following day. That should not present any difficulties for me today, especially. I mean, I'm only like 5 hours away from Brownsburg. It's about 10 o'clock right now, so I'll get there, you know, mid-afternoon, get the truck all cleaned up and everything so it can get serviced. You know, you have to detail it. If you've seen my how to pass your TMC inspection video, I'm about to go do that for this truck at the end of the day, so I can get that out of the way. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, that permit for Alabama, the entire state is restricted for oversized loads on Sunday. You know, basically it's you know, it's the southern region. You know, it's not uncommon from what I was told, you know, for Sunday to be, you know, an off limits day for oversized loads, just because I guess it's, you know, religious thing, you know, God's day, Sunday. I will be sitting at a truck stop or a rest area somewhere until Monday morning, where I can get the rest of the way down 65 and get this stuff delivered, which I'm not in love with, but it is what it is. So I have not trip planned yet to see where in Tennessee I am going to park on Sunday. I would like to get as far as possible, so I'm gonna pick like three different spots going down that way, as close as I can get, excuse me, to the Alabama state line. So I'll pick like stop A, B, and C, you know, either truck stops or rest areas. And I would want to get there as early as possible, so I'm gonna leave on Sunday as soon as I can, so that I can have a high likelihood of getting a parking space that area, so I can start off on Monday as early as I can to make up the time, because I don't know how long of a drive I'll have to finish off. 30 minutes before sunrise, I'll have to get on Google and find out when sunrise is supposed to be on Monday morning, and I can start 30 minutes before that, and we'll be up on the road running. And for this video, I am probably not going to show you guys the whole time, anything that I'm doing at Brownsburg, just because you guys have already seen that in the previous video. And like I said before, go check out my Brownsburg, well, I didn't talk about that one. Go check out my Brownsburg terminal tour video, and also check out my how to pass a TMC appearance inspection video, because I'm about to go to that place and do that stuff. And then I'm gonna hang out for the weekend until Sunday morning, when I can leave and get as far as I can down to Tennessee. Yeah, more steel. But other than that, everything should be good to go. We're all set up legally. We have all of our permits. Oh, no we don't. No we don't. We almost have all of our permits. And this is why you gotta be thorough. I almost forgot again. While I was reviewing the permits, not just the stack of permits that I showed you guys, but I was also reviewing my TMC permit book that all of us have in our trucks here. I was looking at everything. You always want to check all your dates, make sure nothing's expired. I found this one right here, amber light permit, and I have one of those on this trailer. So I didn't know you'd have to have a permit for that. I mean, it's the first time I've seen that. That's expired. My amber permit expired in June of this year. So I told the permits department person that I was speaking to that I needed an updated permit, and she is going to email that to the scale house that I just got my other paperwork from, and then that should be the final thing that I need before I can get on this road. And let's see, it's saying that I'll get to the terminal about 4 o'clock. Might be a little bit later than that, because I'm gonna need to stop for fuel before I get there. We'll be up and rolling. I need to go ahead and get going. I've been lingering around here for a while, but it's time well spent, because you do not want to rush reading these permits. I took my time and read through all 31 pages of this stack, because you don't want to get caught lacking. You don't want to be caught slipping, because ignorance is not an excuse. The authorities try to pinch you for something. You can't say, oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be on this road. I'll be like, too bad, so sad. Take this ticket, eat that. And I'm not looking to have that happen to me. So do your reading and don't be in a rush, because if you fail or the negative outcome gets to you, all that rushing that you were doing is not going to be worth it, and you're going to wish that you hadn't done that. But I'm going to go ahead and get this permit. We're going to get ourselves on the road. First OD load. Let's go. Okay, got the updated amber light permit, and there was something else that I needed to do. A couple things I did. I was looking at the securement, and earlier when I was telling you guys what to do, I forgot to mention to make sure that you have 2 pieces of securement within the first 5 feet of the load, which I did not at that time. I only had the X chains, so I went ahead and I put a strap up here as well. So this is under the 5 feet requirement. And I also made sure to double up, since this load reaches underneath the trailer. I put a edge protector at the top and at the bottom. That way this strap, as you can see, is not making any contact with the actual metal and does not have the opportunity to get cut while I'm driving down the road. It's reaching over the top of this, but it's not pressing down in a way where it'll be able to get cut on this top piece right here. It's pretty much just going over it like a waterfall. All the pressure is right here on this side corner, and I got the same setup on the other side. It's raining out here, guys. It's a nasty day out. And I also doubled up. I put another bungee over top of this light, because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. And I got to make sure that this is lighting up here. It was lighting up before. I got to make sure it's up with that. Let me double check on that, because that should be lighting up and spinning around right now. I'll go ahead and set all that up, make sure everything's good to go before I head out of here. Okay guys, we're back. some reason that plug was not working and those lights stopped flash, or they didn't illuminate anymore. So I don't know if it's like a fuse or something, but you can't haul an OD load without a strobe light that spins around and is visible from 360 degrees. So I had to call road repair, see what the issue was. I checked to see if it was a fuse, the fuses that they specified, and I tried to change those out, and that did not make those lights come on. So I called safety and verified that you cannot leave out of here and get on the road without that strobe light that works. But fortunately, I'm in a good place for a backup plan, because one of the safety managers recommended that I check at this place and see if they have any of those poles with the strobe light on top that are battery operated, as opposed to being electricity operated with the trailer. And fortunately they did. I went over to their box that had all of the other over-dimensional equipment in it, and I got one of those 360 illuminating poles, and I'll show you what I got here. It's that right there, and it just goes down into either one of these tubes here. See, there's one there, and then there's another one right here. And you just take this little pin, goes through this hole on one side, out the other, and you clamp it together so it stays put. And like I said, it's battery operated, so I gotta make sure that I turn that on. There we go. And you can see it's blinking. So now we are good to go. Finally. It's much later than I had planned on getting out of here. It's like noon Central Time, and I have to go east back into the Eastern Time Zone to get to Brownsburg. So I'm gonna lose an hour going east, but we're on the road. For a second I thought I was gonna have to sit here and wait for road repair to send somebody out here to look at that. And I had a feeling if they did that, it was gonna be something extremely easy, like a wire out of place, or you know, some kind of fuse that was different from what I was told or something. Man, I was like, this really blows. But having alternatives is great. So now I'm legal. I can go to Brownsburg, and then when I get there, I can just tell them about the issue with the trailer lights, and I'm already there for service. They can look at that while I'm there. And it makes it even better because I have that specified route with this over-dimensional load, so I couldn't veer off the beaten path and go to a repair shop somewhere. You know, a technician would have had to come out here to me, or some other foolishness that I didn't feel like dealing with. I don't know. But we're good to go. I still have that dome light. I asked them if they wanted that back, since I was taking that pole instead, and they told me just to keep both of them, just in case I might need that in the future. And that is awesome, because like I say, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Just in case something happens to one of them, you have a backup. It's very windy out here. It was raining. That stopped, but it was like 52 degrees out there and raining, and that wasn't fun to deal with. But I talked to Mrs. Erudite while I was sitting around here, asking her how the weather was back at home, back in North Carolina, and she said it's 80 degrees. 80 degrees. 2 different parts of the country, 30 some odd degree difference. That's all good. That's what happens when you're out in the Midwest as opposed to the South. But we're good to go. And one other thing before we finally get rolling with this, in addition to making sure your permits are all correct and you follow the route, you have to stop at every single way station that is open. Now, you pull through, from what I was told, you pull through and you just wait to see if they give you the green light once you're in the way station. Even if you are coming up to the way station and you're looking at your Trimble and it tells you that you can bypass the way station, don't do that. You have to still pull in. Now, once you get in there and they give you the green light, then you can keep on driving, from what I was told. I was under the assumption at first that I had to stop at every way station and go inside and show them my paperwork and have them go through it. But according to permits, the permit department, you just have to pull in there and you go from there. They may pull you around and want to inspect your load or look at your paperwork, but if you get the green light, you are good to keep on driving without pulling over and going inside from what I was informed. So we're gonna do that. I think there's only like a couple way stations on my way from here to Brownsburg. Not worried about it. I know the load is secured properly. I know that I am properly marked with all these flags and banners, and I have the light now, so we are 100% golden. Just gotta follow the route given to us and we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and hop on the road, guys. Okay guys, we're here at the first load check, about 50 miles from where we started at, and checking to make sure that all the banners and the flags are still there. Front looks good. Side flags are good. Got another oversized guy right there. He's hauling some of that big machinery. I don't know if I want to make specialized a regular thing. Probably not, at least not right now. But this is the first step towards it, I guess. Flags in the back are good. Everything, the flags on the side, passenger side are good too. So everything's working splendidly. Everything's holding up. All the chains are still super tight. And as you can see, the pole is still there and it's flashing like it should be. The one thing that I forgot to mention earlier about this load, on the permits it specifies that I cannot drive any faster than 55 miles an hour while I'm hauling this. That really stinks. TMC already has a reputation for having slow trucks because the trucks used to be governed at 65. No, they used to be governed at 62. And now they bumped it up to 65 sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken. And we don't get ragged on as much, but still known as the slow guys on the road, turtles. I think a lot of other guys right here clipping up 70 and maybe above, I don't know, but I wouldn't be driving that fast anyway. That's terrible for your fuel economy. You'll get to where you need to be faster, but I don't know, I'm cool with like 60. 64 is what I have my my cruise control set for on a regular day. Oh, the other thing is, like at TMC, if you get in trouble with like a moving violation, they make you go in to a terminal, talk to a safety manager, and then they drop your speed down. They govern you back down at 62 for 30 days. And I'm thinking with this load, I have to drive slower than I would be driving if I were on punishment, basically, with the company. It is what it is. It's only for a day and a half until I get rid of it on Monday. But these flags are looking good. They're blowing in the wind, and I'm checking my mirrors to make sure that I didn't lose any. And these don't look like they tear at all. Well, they haven't torn from the wind pressure blowing it back. So with that first slow check out of the way, I'm really confident that those will ride just fine all the way down to Alabama. But we're good on the slow check. I'm gonna go ahead and get back on the road, guys. All right, guys, what's up? It is Saturday morning now. We got to Brownsburg yesterday around 7:40 or something like that, and we got the truck cleaned out and the service is already complete. I'm actually very, very pleasantly surprised by how quickly my service was completed here. I cleaned the truck out and handed them the keys sometime around 11:30 p.m. or something like that. The truck was done extremely quickly. Let me see what time it is now. It was done about an hour ago. It's 10:05, so around 9 in the morning they were done. And this is TQM week on top of that, man, so there's a lot of drivers here, and I was really expecting them to take longer to get my truck finished, but especially considering the things that I needed them to get fixed on it, because this is the truck that I recovered about a couple of months ago, and it had some stuff, some cosmetic damage from the previous driver, and some mechanical things that needed to be swapped out. But yeah, I mean, they knocked it out. I don't know if they had more than one guy working on it at the same time or what, but whatever it is, it's awesome. A couple things. I passed my inspection, my appearance inspection, like I normally do. If you've seen that video that I told you about, you know, how to pass your TMC appearance inspections, watch it, because you will pass it every single time if you do what I showed you to do in that video, because that's all I did here. And this is my first time being at Brownsburg to have service. I usually go to Gaston, but I got routed to this one for whatever reason. And this one does not have as many of the cleaning products, or not the normal ones that I'm used to. I think the purple liquid that I showed you guys in that video is called like Fabuloso or something. They don't have that here. They just have 2 things that you can clean with, and they're at all the terminals. But I'll show you what I use. The exact items that I use to clean my truck. That's all you need. Paper towels, glass cleaner for your windows, and this carpet and upholstery cleaner, and then a scrub brush. That's all I used. The upholstery cleaner on everything here, wiping it down and using the paper towel, and the scrub brush was for the floor, or if you have any really caked in grime here by the handhold from, you know, having dirty hands getting in and out of the truck, scrub that down and then wipe it off, and it's good to go. Especially if right before you hand your keys over to them for inspection, you spray it with that stuff and then wipe it all down. It'll give it that shiny wet look, and you'll pass your appearance inspection. Truck's looking good. I'm done with that. They didn't give me the paper here, like I showed you in that video, let you know that you're good to go. They pretty much just told me to come pick up my keys, and I was set to go. Walked out the door. A good amount of the day left. I'm gonna go hit the gym in here, and I need to go connect back to my trailer over there. I'm gonna get the truck washed tomorrow before I leave out of here, because if you get your truck washed on Sundays, basically puts you in the system so that you're set for basically 3 weeks before you need to get the truck washed again instead of 2. I don't know how that calculates in the system, but it always works out that way. So if you are doing this, try to get your truck washes on Sunday if you can. You know, it's awesome. That way you don't have to run back too soon. But let me show you guys something else while we're here that I got. It's really windy out here. Wind's trying to blow my hood off. But as you guys already know, when you come in for service, you gotta disconnect your truck from the trailer and park it into space. And as you guys saw yesterday, I was having a problem with the rear lights on my trailer not working. I found out why, because I got the mechanics at the Brownsburg terminal here to check that out, and we got this working again, and these working. And it's a good thing that I did not stay out there and have them send a technician out to Iowa, where I picked this load up from, to try to see about that issue or fix it. They would not have been able to figure it out. They would not have been able to figure it out. I guarantee it. The guys in the shop here, Brownsburg, were saying the same thing. But basically what it was, these chain tie downs here, they were underneath here, the anchor point on these. I can see it. Nope. You can't really see it from here, but basically there's a wire that's up in here where your chain tie downs are. And like I said, I can't get the camera angle in there to show you guys where it is. It's kind of like by a light right here. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to show it to you guys, but there's a wire here, and it's back here behind, close to where this chain tie down is. And long story short, the chain tie down was pinching one of the wires that's back here, and it ended up shorting it out. And the wire connection was specifically for those lights back there and that outlet plug that would have been powering my strobe light. I guess it's a pretty common issue with this specific trailer, from what they were telling me here, because I'm far from the first guy that has had this issue. They were telling me it's pretty common, unfortunately. A design flaw in the electrical system for these trailers. But that's all sorted out. It's all powered back up again, so now I have that strobe plus the pole at the top for me to utilize. But the thing that I wanted to show you guys while I'm over here, or tell you first, but when you come to a terminal and you park, the safety managers in the morning will walk the yard, and they will look at all of the trailers, and they will see if your securement is done correctly. If not, they will red tag your trailer, and they won't let you leave until you talk to somebody in safety, or I guess maybe the mechanics will give them the same notes and fix whatever it is that's not done adequately on your securement. Now, they inspected my trailer here, They inspected my securement, and look at that. Good job. Good securement job. Thank you for the effort. Now, basically what that is, that means that I got an A+, like amazing securement. They don't hand those out unless you've done things perfectly. So they don't call me the erudite trucker for nothing, guys. I live this life. I know what I'm doing. I'm very thorough, and it shows. So now you got that showing I can secure this stuff, and that appearance inspection checklist passing grade that I showed you in that video. But I mean, it's pretty simple, guys. Ask questions if you don't know how to secure something. Call the safety guys. Be thorough, and when the authorities check your stuff out, you don't have anything to worry about. Other than that, man, we're rolling. I haven't done the trip planning or the review, the directions review for the remainder of my trip, but basically I got to get back on 74 until that gets to I-65 south, and I'll be following that straight down into Alabama. And I have a parking place picked out for tomorrow, and my clock will refresh at 6 something in the morning. I got to check and see today when the sun is supposed to come up tomorrow morning, and I can leave 30 minutes before that. I want to leave as early as possible so that I have a very high chance of getting a very prime parking space where I'm going and being able to drive as far as I can to Tennessee. If I can make it to where I'm planning to, I think I'll only have like an hour and a half drive on Monday morning to get down into Birmingham, Alabama to deliver this stuff, and we'll get this off the trailer and be back rolling for Monday. This load pays all right, pays pretty good for well, if it were a same-day delivery. Since I picked this up on Thursday and it doesn't deliver until Monday, it's basically cut in half what it's paying me. So after that cut in half rate, you know, it's just like average pay. It would have been really good if it was a next day drop, but sometimes it just doesn't shake out like that. Everything on here is good, man, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit that gym, get a shower, and we'll see what else we can get into, if anything cool is going on while I'm here. I just love when securement works out perfectly. That is beautiful. Look at that. All right, guys, good morning, or good afternoon rather. Now it is 3:30 and we're down here in southern Tennessee. I think the city's called Cornersville, and it's I don't know, maybe like 20 miles or so from the Alabama border. And like I told you guys earlier, with this oversized route that I have here and the permits, the whole state of Alabama is restricted for me on Sunday. So this is as far as I can go. I left the Brownsburg terminal around 8 or so this morning. I got the truck washed. I was the first guy in line at the truck wash, got that taken care of at the terminal, and had a really easy trip down here. And I got some fuel right across the street at that pilot over there. And I guess this is the most convenient place that I could have parked. That pilot that I showed you guys across the way over there doesn't have very many spaces. It only had like 25 spaces, and I'm like literally diagonal across the street, like right away from it.
Say a command.
Don't need that on right now. At a smaller, it's actually like gas station, but you can get your diesel here too. See some other trucks parked right around here. So this is the most convenient place that I could park, considering the circumstance, because I can just easily go walk across the street, take a shower at that pilot if I need to. And like I said, I already got some fuel over there before I came over here and parked for the day. And as you guys can see right there, I have a little bit over 2 hours that I have to drive tomorrow to finish the route and get this stuff delivered. And I've still got plenty of time on my clock today. I could make it all the way to the Continental, because I have about 4 hours left on my clock if it wasn't for that that restriction for the state. But it is what it is. My clock is going to refresh at like right after like midnight tonight. It's so early in the day, and I guess it's one of the benefits for me leaving earlier. If I had been at home, I would not have left this early, but since I was away from home anyway, I was at Brownsburg, I didn't really have anything to do lingering around the terminal for longer the day. So got up first thing, got on the road so I could just be done with it. Now I can do whatever I want to do for the rest of my time here until tomorrow morning. And there was another specification on this permit, and I know I mentioned to you guys before that, you know, the earliest you can start driving is like 30 minutes before sunset, and the latest you can drive with the oversized is 30 minutes after. No, I said that wrong. 30 minutes before sunrise is the earliest you can start, and then 30 minutes after sunset is the latest you can drive. But with this Alabama permit, it says specifically that this has to be a daylight move. So I cannot do anything with this route at all until tomorrow morning when the sun comes up. Well, maybe now I think about it, I'm a little bit less than 30 minutes away from the Alabama border, but I'm not gonna push it. I don't need to like squeeze every little microsecond of time out of that. So I'll just get up maybe like and start my clock like 10 minutes before sunrise. That way, after I do my pre-trip for the 10 minutes, I can get on the road and the sun will be up by the time I cross the line. Just in case the state troopers are out or anything. I actually pulled through a couple of scales on the way down here, and I just got the bypass, so I drove into the scale, of course, because you still have to do that, as I mentioned before. You have to drive in, but if they give you the green light once you're actually in the scale, you can just keep on driving. And that's what happened. I didn't have to go inside anywhere to show my paperwork to anybody, so super easy. And the route that they gave me in my permits worked out exactly how it was written on my permits. I didn't have any trouble getting down here at all. I followed the exact road turns and highway intersections. The only thing that was different, it was pretty much a straight shot southeast from where I picked it up in Iowa, and then it would have been a straight drop down I-65, except I had to go around the city of Louisville. I couldn't go straight through that. I had to like bypass around 265 east and drive like around in a crescent shape around the whole area of Louisville, because I think like that part of Kentucky plus like some of the surrounding counties, I can't take any oversized loads through there at all. But that was in the directions as well, how to get around that. But so far this OD load has been easy to deal with. I'm gonna go ahead and chill out here. I don't think there's really much going on in this area. There's not really anything within walking distance. Nothing interesting around. Just a couple of truck stops and that's it. The highway is like right across the street from the pilot pretty much. I jumped right off the highway and came right into the gas station to get something. So I'm gonna hang out here and chill until tomorrow morning. This load, the place I'm delivered to now, before I forget about it, this load at the Constantine, they're first come, first serve. So if I leave right around 6:30, I think, getting on the road, I'll get to the Constantine around 8:30, a little bit later than that, and that's still a good time to get delivered in the morning. It's still very early, and I'll be able to get a good load getting me out of Alabama, I'm pretty sure. I'll have 9 hours and some change left on my clock, so that's still a decent amount to be able to make something happen for the beginning of the week. So it is what it is. You know, I would love to have been able to park up, but sometimes you just can't do it. But I'm gonna go ahead and chill out, guys. Check in with you guys in the morning. All right, guys, good morning. It's Monday. As you can see, the sun has come up, so it is legal for us to be out here and get this train running now. Get to Alabama and dump this stuff. I already did my pre-trip, and just waiting for my breakfast to get done cooking. We'll get on the road once we leave, we'll get there a little bit after 9 a.m., which is, you know, not bad. I would rather be already getting rolling and started like 6:30 or 7, already being at the consignee, but you already know the deal for this one, guys. So let's go out here and do our final check. I already did it, of course, but I'm gonna show you guys what I'm doing for the final pre-trip on this oversized load before we get ourselves on the road here. It's gonna be a little bit loud though. There's a lot of guys out here with their engines running. All right, now basically what I did, I just went around and make sure that all of my oversized markers are still on the truck where I left them. As you can see, the banner's still there. The red banners for the side marks are good. License plate's still not covered up, so that's perfect. The front's good to go. All of my side marker lights are all good. I've got up there my 360 light on the top. I don't have it turned on yet, but I'll turn that on before I actually get on the road. Got my side marker for the front corner of the load. I already checked all my chains for tightness, so that's fine. I've got my rear marker for the back corner of the load on the driver's side. Got my marker for the rear corner of the trailer. Got my 360 light on the rear of the trailer, and it's activated. As you can see, those are the lights before that weren't working. That's all working again now. We got that fixed at the terminal. Got my oversized banner. Everything's set right, not covering any of the lights. My rear trailer marker flag. My rear corner of the passenger side of the load flag there. All the markers, light markers right here that I'm saying, all these are illuminated. And final piece right here, the side marker flag for the front corner on the passenger side of the load. We're all good to go. Go ahead and see about turning this on right here. There we go. Everything is right. I love it when everything works out how it's supposed to. But we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves on the road here. Drive for the next 2 hours, 15 minutes. Get this load pulled off the trailer, and we'll have this oversized all complete perfectly. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my breakfast going, guys. Get on the road, and I'll see you at the consignee. All right, guys, we made it here. I'll take all this stuff down, get unloaded. got everything put away except for the chain binders and a couple straps. But here, right here, is all of the OD markings, the flags, the banners, the oversized marker, and I'll show you how to easily put it away. I folded everything up, I rolled everything up together, and I put it right here. I'm gonna make it basically like a sandwich. So you just take everything, put a bungee underneath it, and just wrap it up. And I'm gonna use actually the side of the trailer, take it off a little bit. Right here. Okay, everything, all the banners and all that stuff wrapped up in a nice convenient package with a bungee. Not gonna take up any space. I'll be able to tuck that away easily. So it's just this and my marker for the back. I still got the top one up there, but I'll take that one down. All right, guys, I had to move out of the way so that another driver could get unloaded. But there you have it. My first over-dimensional load successfully hauled, and no problems, really flawless victory if I do say so myself. It was slightly daunting at first just because I wasn't sure what to do, but made that phone call to safety and got the tips and tricks, you know, things I needed to watch out for with the OD load, you know, the general rules, and I read all that paperwork very thoroughly, followed those directions to a T, and I had zero problems. I can't really say anything could have gone any better than it did. Yeah, I'm very, very satisfied, very pleased with my performance in that one, guys, if I do say so myself. But I want to thank all of you for watching, subscribing, liking the videos. Make sure that you're sharing this content so we can spread the knowledge for anybody else who's interested in trucking. Because the purpose of my videos is always to help and inform people so that you guys can have an easier time if you're out here trying to do what I'm doing. But I'll see you all in the next video. I appreciate you all. I'll see you further down the road. Here with that trucker out.